The last episode was a more chill episode where we were just kind of seeing the perspective of a newbie, and it reminded me of how I started Vanguard. And I mean that in the most literal sense possible. Between how I was feeling when I was first trying to build my deck to how I was fighting with my deck. Okay, for context, my first deck was a Shadow Paladin deck. It was literally just the trial deck. That was it. And this is the story. So I've only been to two tournaments in my lifetime because the tournament or the card shop I used to go to when I was younger. I was only able to do it every once in a while because I didn't have a license and I didn't have a way to make money to get to get the cards at the time. And by the time I got the money and a license, that shop stopped selling Vanguard entirely. But the first two times I was able to finally enter a tournament with a deck was the best. It was very memorable for me, and that's because the first time after the tournament was over, I was going over my deck. One of the guys said, "Hey, can I see your deck?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" He took a look at it, and he got it together with his friends, and they agreed to upgrade my deck. They gave me two Mordred Phantoms, some critical triggers, and some really like just like some normal rare cards to help fill out the rest of my deck. And I was very touched by that because when your game thrives and you have people who are very just passionate for the game, it breeds that level of just it breeds that level of community. And I do know that there is a bit of a stereotype with card game people, and yeah, that's gonna be another reaction. I'm gonna have to react to Papa Meat at one point. If you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say. But it's just crazy. And this is kind of why I'm always hard on Bushiroad, on Konami, on fucking Wizards of the Coast when they mistreat their game and their product. Because these card shops, they only can bring in so much revenue and income at the time, at the moment. And when they make terrible, shitty products that aren't worth buying, that make people not want to buy, these card shops take the biggest hit, especially with things moving to online. It's a lot harder. It's so much harder nowadays. But just when your game eventually, like when your game is so underrepresented, like how Vanguard is, it breeds that level of community where a bunch of random people saw that I was new and that I wanted to get into it, and they were willing to enough to part with some cards to help me get my start. I still have that deck too, completely unedited. One, because I wasn't able to afford the cards at the time, and then two, just because you know what, that deck means a lot to me. Even though it's not the strongest and it doesn't really work in the way it should, I still like it a lot, and I think it just holds a lot of sentimental value to me. So when I saw that, when I see those moments in the overdress and the wheel dress where all the guys they're hazing the new guy and then but they're giving them new cards, it hits home for me, you know? It hits home in a very special place. And I want to see that community return again. I want more stuff like that. And I don't know how to do it myself, but I'm hoping one of these days we'll get to that point again. But yeah, all the depression out of the way. Yeah. So I'm being told that we're about to hit